Alright, today we are back to soak in some more beauty. We have put together an exciting little selection of gems that have recently passed through our adventurous hands. Just a quick reminder, we are not a home shopping channel, we don't stock piles of stones, and most of what you will see here isn't sitting around waiting to be bought. We work mainly by custom order. However, we will still list the gems featured in this video down below, along with some quick info like their carat weight and price and characteristics. Some of these stones might still be available when you watch this, some might already be off having adventures with their new owners, but honestly that's not the point. The real purpose of these episodes is to help you build your own understanding what stones are out there, what price categories they fall into, what makes them amazing, and what little quirks to look out for. Basically, it's your gemstone training ground, so when the time comes, you will know exactly what you want. And when you are ready, just send us a message on WhatsApp, the number's in the description. You might send something like, hey, I'm looking for a garnet around this size, in this cut, with this kind of color. And because you have been watching, you will already have a sense of what price range to expect. At this point, you send the small deposit, we go hunting for your perfect gem. Once we find it, we show it to you. If you're happy, we move forward with certification through official labs. And if you want us to create jewelry with it, we will do that too. If you just want the stone, no problem, straight to you. And when you finally receive your gemstone, if you want, you can double check it through any lab you trust, make sure it's natural, untreated, no funny business, and only then do you pay the remaining balance. That's how magic happens. Kicking things off at number 1. This is what we lovingly call a stormy spinel, a stunning gem that mirrors the deep electric color of the sky just before a thunderstorm hits. Here we have got a perfectly matched pair, beautifully sparkling, full of life and just hypnotic to look at. Finding spinels like that, especially in pairs suitable for earrings, is getting harder and harder, even though we love working with them. You guys often ask us for perfect pairs for earrings or matching rings like his and hers rings. And honestly, spinels like this bring so much elegance and romance into these kinds of designs, no matter the style you choose. Coming in at number 2. We have another guest that used to be much more common here, lavender spinel. You might be surprised, but true lavender spinel is also becoming increasingly rare. It shows up less and less on the market. Even when it does, it is usually in smaller sizes, like the ones you are seeing here. Quick story for you. About a year ago, we stumbled upon an incredible lavender spinel, super vibrant, stunning inclusions, and a huge size, over 16 carats. I actually thought about keeping it for myself, but in the end, we still sold it, thinking, well, no worries, the big next one will be ours. Well, spoiler alert, the next big one never came, at least not in this exact magical shade. Now, a heads up, if you are hunting for lavender spinel online, you will see plenty listed, often at suspiciously cheap prices, like $50 or $100 or $300 per stone. Well, there is a catch. Most of those pale colored spinels look great only under special jewelry light. You know, the one designed to make even a pebble look like it's worth a fortune. In reality, once you see them under normal daylight, on your finger, on your ear, a lot of them look dull, flat, or just vaguely pinkish and murky. That is why we always show the stones in real natural light, and only in that, exactly how they will look in your everyday life. No magic lamps, no camera tricks. So don't be shocked if you see cheap lavender spinel online, and definitely don't be shocked if what arrives turns out to be a very sad little rock. At number 3 we've got, you guessed it, another spinel. Again, it's a smaller stone and it's very much on purpose. We actually make a point of sourcing high quality smaller gems sometimes because not everyone wants or needs to throw down $100,000 for a single piece. We believe everyone should have a chance to wear something truly beautiful and well crafted. The color here is hard to describe. It's kind of a deep violet with a dark, almost black undertone. It's a rich noble shade and the stone has a wonderful sparkle. What's extra special about this one? That it's perfect for everyday wear, not just for glamorous events. It would look incredible paired with a business suit, let's say, just as much as it would at a party. Number 4, and here is another charming little spinel. This particular shade is known in the trade as a cobalt spinel. Now, just a reminder, trade names don't always have a strict scientific basis. In this case, cobalt spinel simply means that the stone has a vivid, beautiful blue color. It doesn't actually guarantee any specific amount of cobalt in the stone itself. Sometimes stones with super intense bright blue tones have very little cobalt content, and sometimes stones with a high cobalt content aren't all that vibrant. So the name is really more about the color you see with your own eyes rather than about chemistry. Also, just to remind you, the stones we are showing here today are fairly small. That's on purpose, so you can get an idea of what entry-level pricing looks like for this kind of quality. But if you're dreaming about something bigger, like a 10 or even 20 carat cobalt spinel, don't worry, we can absolutely find one for you. Just send us a message. Number 5, and this is an absolutely one of a kind. Here we have got a bright neon blue spinel, and this time it's from Mahenge. Now, if you know your gem geography, you will know Mahenge is famous for its pink and red spinels. So stumbling across a pure, vivid blue spinel from this region is nothing short of a betrayal expectation. And the best possible way. This stone is, without a doubt, an incredible investment piece. Mahenge spinels, as you might know, have been experiencing massive price growth year after year, and this blue beauty is no exception. In fact, the blue color makes it even more special. If a spinel like that had been found in Vietnam instead, it would have been labeled as the Vietnamese electric blue spinel, and the price would easily shoot up by another $100,000. No joke. So don't be surprised when you see that this gem's price tag comes with 5 digits. It's absolutely justified. At number 6, we are staying in Mahenge, but this time with a classic Mahenge spinel. This is a gorgeous, larger stone with a rich blend of pink and scarlet tones. What's great about this particular color is that it's not wildly neon. It's noble, refined shade, which means it works beautifully in both men's and women's jewelry. It's vibrant, but in a way that's sophisticated, not flashy. And of course, it's still very much an investment stone. Mahenge spinels have been smashing records when it comes to price growth. They are one of the hottest investment-grade gems in the world right now, and honestly, for the past several years too. Part of the reason? The Mahenge deposit is nearly exhausted. Supply is drying up fast and the prices are already climbing in real time. We recently sourced another Mahenge spinel of a similar size, but with a more intense neon red color. That one went out on a special order and sold for nearly $1 million. This stone here is more affordable since its color is a bit calmer, but it is still very much a powerhouse piece, both in beauty and in value. At number 7, we have yet another beauty from Mahenge, but in a different signature color. This one is what often called hot pink. Let's take a quick moment to talk about Mahenge spinel colors. The closer a Mahenge spinel is to pure vivid scarlet red, the higher the price climbs. The closer it leans towards softer, more muted pink or purple pink tones, the more accessible the price. Though, even then, we are still talking about serious gemstones. And either way, whether it's a fiery red or delicate pink, Mahenge spinels have become extremely valuable. Just a reminder, over the past few years, the price of Mahenge spinel has skyrocketed by more than 1,000%. Spinels overall have surged by about 700%, but Mahenge stones, they're setting records like nothing else on the market right now. Number 8, and here we have another rainbow moonstone from Madagascar. This one is just a small glimpse of a recent batch we bought in. We were offered about a couple of kilos of raw material to sort through, and out of all that we probably chose maybe 1%? Seriously, only the absolutely best made the cut. We have just finished cutting and polishing them, so now there is a range of sizes, shapes and styles, but as always we only show you the top pieces. We don't work with low quality moonstones, the cloudy, chalky ones with no shimmer, and believe me, there are a lot of those out there. Our dear followers and clients may be a little spoiled at this time from always seeing the really sparkly beauties, but honestly, once you've seen the good stuff, there is no way back, and most of the materials out there is not as good at all. Now, rainbow moonstones aren't just beautiful to wear, they are also becoming a solid investment. Prices are steadily climbing and bigger fashion houses have started promoting them hard. In some places, top quality moonstones are already selling by around $3,000 per carat, and we are still keeping our prices much more reasonable. We aim for somewhere around the market average or even below that. Why? Because unlike big brand name jewelries, we don't have to cover massive staff salaries, expensive boutique rents and layers of middlemen. We buy directly from the mine owners themselves, which means you get incredible stones without paying 5 times the price you would find in a big name store. Same quality, same magic, just a much smarter best feed. Number 9. Here is another lovely piece from the same batch of rainbow moonstones from Madagascar we bought recently. This one features a really interesting fantasy card, giving it a bit extra character. But what's truly special about this one is unusually intense green flash it shows. Honestly, after handling dozens of kilograms of moonstones materials over the years, it's the first time I have ever seen such green play of color where it's so bright and dominant. It's a total rarity. You never know what little surprises nature will hand you. The stone is small, so it's pretty budget friendly. If you love it, don't hesitate. It's a perfect little treasure to wear and enjoy every day. Number 10. And here we have a very charming, super bright green peridot from Burma. I can already picture it looking incredible in some kind of creative fantasy style design. Unfortunately, and sorry about that, the camera just can't seem to capture green properly. I don't know why, but green is hands down the hardest color for cameras to handle. Right now, for example, we are holding an insanely green tsavorite, and we simply can't film it accurately because the camera refuses to catch the true color. Same story with this peridot. In person, it's much more vivid and electric rather than what you're seeing on the screen right now. So you will just have to trust us a little on this one. Also, if you look closely, you will spot some really cool stripe inclusions running through the stone. Those are fine threads of black tourmaline, and they give the gem a playful, one-of-a-kind personality that makes it even more attractive. It's a good size, the price is very friendly, and it's absolutely ideal for a custom jewelry project. And yes, this stone is still available at the time of filming. Numbers 11 and 12. Here we have two beautiful natural aquamarines. No treatment, no enhancements, just pure natural stones. Aquamarine is a funny one. When you're holding a raw uncut crystal, it looks incredibly vivid, like this neon sky blue dream. But the moment you start cutting it, the more you polish and shape it, the more weight you lose, the more the color fades away. It's just the nature of the gem. That's why small aquamarines often end up looking almost colorless. You can actually see it right here. Number 11 is smaller and as a result it's lighter and more transparent. Number 12 is bigger and you can see instantly the difference. It's much more vibrant, holding on to the gorgeous blue tone we all love. So if you're dreaming of a rich, saturated blue aquamarine, remember, go for a larger stone. Size matters with this one. One more important thing to know about aquamarines, they actually perform better in tricky weather compared to many other blue stones. When the sky is cloudy or when you're in a lower light, like winter or places where the sun is not often guessed, aquamarines don't just go dull like some other gems might. Instead, they shift beautifully towards steel blue shades, almost like twilight colored spinels. So even if you live somewhere rainy, cold or grey, your aquamarine will still look fantastic. Also, just a little personal tip from me. In my experience, aquamarines with a slightly matte appearance, the ones that show more inclusions, often look brighter and more lively once they're set into jewelry. They also tend to catch and reflect light better under strong sunlight. On the other hand, very clean, flawless aquamarines sometimes lose their depth of color and can look a bit pale or washed out in real-world lighting. So my advice, when choosing between a clean, flawless aquamarine and one with a slightly more textured, included look, go for the one with inclusions if you want that vivid neon blue glow to really come alive in everyday wear. Alright, from number 13 through 16, we are diving into something truly special, a series of garnets from that one very unique deposit in Tanzania. We have had a long friendship with the original owner of the mine, a wonderful old school miner, and just recently we finally made the trip out there ourselves. And when I say trip, I mean a real adventure. The owner of Synergev's company went all the way 200 meters straight down into the mine. No fancy lifts, no high-tech gear, just slippery rocks, ropes and a lot of determination. The climb alone took several hours, so soon you will be able to see exactly what it looks like behind the scene. We've got some real footage coming. Now about the garnets, only a tiny percentage of the stones they mine have this special color, a rare mix of deep garnet red with a soft pinkish undertone. It's a combination you almost never find in garnets, and it gives these stones a unique, refined look. They're vibrant, but not overwhelmingly bright, just rich, romantic, and full of character. And here is the big news. Through a rather unexpected series of events, which we will explain in an upcoming episode, we actually become co-owners of this mine. Yep, 70% of these now belongs to Synergems. So the stones you are seeing aren't just sourced directly from the mine, they are literally our own. Funny thing is, we used to say that we will never get into mining, and yet here we are. Life has a sense of humor sometimes. Number 17, and here we have a beautiful pair of morganites from Brazil. Usually morganite is mined in Burma, and there are also some smaller deposits in Turkey, as I say. And just recently, we even went on a little expeditions ourselves out to Ethiopia, where we tried our hands in mining morganite directly. We actually found a few stones, so we've cut them just for fun, so you will see what turned out soon. Now, morganite is often misunderstood. People tend to think it's a common stone because there are so many fakes and synthetic floating around on the market, but good quality natural morganite is actually a rare find. What makes it so special is that gorgeous soft pink tone. It pairs absolutely beautiful with aquamarine in my personal opinion. That pastel blue and pastel pink together are just a match made in heaven. And of course, morganite also looks stunning on all its own. And it doesn't matter if you're designing a pair jewelry for him or her, which is quite common for this undertone, or it's just a male or women design, that color will go perfectly with any style. Alright, numbers 18, 19 and 20. Here we have something extra special, morganites that were personally mined in Ethiopia by the owner of our company himself. And you will actually get to see the full story soon in one of our upcoming videos, and trust me, it really looks very cool. No fancy equipment, no big machines, just old school hand and rope mining. Now, as you can see, the prices for the stones are very reasonable, especially considering their size. Why? Well, first, we got them directly ourselves, so no middleman, so it's cheap. Second, the color, while soft and pleasant, isn't the ultra-intense shades that would command investment-level pricing. These aren't high-end collector's pieces, they are just lovely charming gems that would be perfect either for a simple purchase or for turning into a unique jewelry piece. Just a little reminder, if you're curious about the prices, weights and full description, hit the button below the video. Everything is listed clearly there. And if something catches your eye, just shoot us a message on WhatsApp. If you want, we can custom make a piece for you. If not, you can simply buy the loose stone and create your own design. Totally up to you. Even though these morganites aren't screaming neon colors, they still have that noble, elegant feel, and for the size and the price, they absolutely win. Number 21. Here we have an absolutely stunning strand of golden pearls. The quality here is truly incredible. The pearls are perfectly matched in size and color, and honestly, on the 10-point scale, I would easily rate this solid 8. One of the finest collection of golden pearls we have ever come across. We would love to eventually incorporate some of our signature custom cast beads into this strand, something delicate and lace-like maybe, with some tiny colored gemstones set into the metal work. It will take some time to create, but the result will be nothing short of magical. Now let's talk the investment. Golden pearls like these appreciated around the world, and their price grows every year at least at 30% minimum. And when pearls are perfectly matched like this, their value multiplies even further. So if you ever decide to resell this trend down the line, you'd be sitting on the very, very smart investment. Number 22, and another unique piece here. This time we have got a ruby lead cut in a beautiful cabochon style, and honestly I think the cutter did a phenomenal job pairing the cut to the character of the stone. Now ruby lead is a type of the tourmaline whose color leans very close to that of a ruby, hence the romantic name. But what really makes a particular gem like that stand out is the presence of rutile inclusions and possibly even some hollow tube formations. When you get the stone under the bright light, these inclusions create a beautiful optical effect known as cat's eye. Quick reminder, cat's eye isn't a type of a stone, it's a rare optical phenomenon that only appears in small number of gems. And when it does show up, it usually bumps the stone value up quite a bit. Even without direct sunlight though, you can see how absolutely gorgeous and unique this stone looks. It's fairly large though, making it perfect for a pendant, let's say, or even for a bold man's signet ring if you're feeling adventurous. Either way, it's absolutely unique and beautiful. Number 23. Here we have another tourmaline, this time with an absolutely gorgeous color combination. Just a quick reminder, this is not a watermelon tourmaline. In a classic watermelon tourmaline, you have a bright green rind transitioning sharply into a vivid red flesh. Here, the colors are much softer and more elegant, a beautiful flow from emerald green into a delicate peachy pink. So no watermelon vibes here, this is something more refined and romantic. The color transition is very clear, so each shade stands out clearly while blending into the next in a very smooth, natural way. It's the kind of a stone that would look absolutely spectacular in any jewelry piece, whether it's a statement ring or a pendant. Either way, it's a real showstopper for sure. And here we go for another tourmaline, this time in the shade that I now like to call autumn. For a long time, we didn't really work with this color. Honestly, I used to think it was boring and a little uninspiring, but everything changed when one of our clients specifically requested this shade. At that time, we were based in the northern region. Lots of gloomy weather, heavy clouds, dark skies, people wrapped up in a grey coat. So when we received this tourmaline, actually cut and polished, we opened the package and the whole office just stopped. Right there in the middle of all this bleakness, this stone glowed with a soft, warm, golden light. It stood out so beautifully, it almost felt like a tiny beacon of hope. Since then, we have absolutely fallen in love with this color. And so have our clients, especially those living in northern climates like Europe, Germany or the Netherlands, you name it. It's not flashy, it's not trying too hard, it's just quietly, warmly beautiful. Exactly what you need when the world around you turns grey. At number 25, we have got something that's becoming incredibly rare, lagoon-colored tourmaline from Afghanistan. Now, a little behind the scenes story. The guys we work with in Afghanistan are being sometimes a bit funny. You know, we have actually traveled there ourselves, breaking every stereotype about how dangerous Afghanistan is supposed to be and how bad people who live there are. Well, it's not true. It was an adventure, of course, but nothing shocking happened there. Anyway, the guys often message us saying, we have got a kilo of incredible material, bright, beautiful stones, absolutely top quality. And every time we say, alright, send some videos, send some photos, we'll take a look. And guess what happens? They send us videos and photos of dark stones. The quality is awful, we can't see a thing. So they still insist that the perfect stones, 100%. And we say like, okay, fine, come and see us in person then. They show up, and again, what we have in our hands is cracked, dull, heavily flawed tourmalines that are nowhere near our standards. Every time we ask them like, guys, why waste your time and money bringing us this? And they just shrug and say, well, we thought maybe. Honestly, I have no idea where they keep trying that, but well, that's a part of an adventure. So after sorting through several kilograms of supposed amazing materials, we are lucky to find one or two truly exceptional stones. And this beauty is one of those rare finds. This one has got that perfect lagoon color, bright, clean, elegant, and it's absolutely ideal for investment. Just a reminder, Afghan lagoon tourmalines are skyrocketing in value, and they are only going to keep climbing. All our friends, all our clients, and honestly we ourselves have been quietly stockpiling them while we still can. And if you haven't jumped on this opportunity yet, trust me, now is the time. The train is leaving the station and it's picking up the speed fast. Now 26. Here we have one of our all-time favorite stones to work with, the black diamond. Yes, we get a little nostalgic just thinking about how good were those old days. There were some time when if you needed a large black diamond, they would bring you boxes, literally hundreds of stones to sort through by size, shape, clarity, however you liked. And you could just sit there for hours picking out the perfect ones. Fast forward to today, if we are lucky, from the entire batch through the sorting, we might find one or two large, clean black diamonds without cracks, without major inclusions, and even then, not always. For example, if someone were to order a 15 carat clean black diamond right now, we would probably need at least 6 months just to find one. It's a whole different world now. These days, black diamonds are extremely in demand. All the major jewelry houses are using them, they're very on trend, and naturally prices have climbed accordingly. Funny thing is, back in the day nobody wanted them. People used to turn up their noses at black diamonds thinking, well, they're cheap stones, and to be fair, they were cheap back then. Nobody really appreciated their unique beauty and or saw their potential. Now they're highly desirable and they come with a much more impressive price tag. This particular stone, for example, is 12.2 carats if I'm not mistaken, and it's priced around $13,500. Number 27. And here is something fun for you to look at. You will never guess what this stone is. Seriously, I couldn't guess myself at first. At first glance, you thought it might be a tourmaline. Then it seemed like maybe it's zircon, but zircon usually have a very recognizable optical feature. And this gem didn't show that at all, so not a tourmaline, not a zircon. I'll give you one last chance to guess by yourself. Go ahead, take a look, but no peeking at the description below just yet. Alright, time for the big reveal. It's actually an unheated tanzanite. Can you believe that? In over 20 years of working with gemstones, this is the first time we have ever come across a large, vivid, autumn gold colored, untreated tanzanite. It's absolutely incredible, rich, warm, and totally unexpected. Now, are tanzanites considered an investment stone? Absolutely. There is only one deposit of tanzanite in the whole entire planet. At the moment, prices are rising, but still within a very sensible range. However, once that deposit is fully mined out, and that day will be coming rather sooner than later, the price is expected to skyrocket. And it's likely follow the same path as colored diamonds or Peridot tourmalines, where values exploded once supply dried up. So honestly, now's the time to stock up while the prices are still accessible. It doesn't even matter whether tanzanite is treated or unheated. Any high quality tanzanite will become extremely valuable when the mine is exhausted. Number 98. Once again, we are looking at a natural untreated tanzanite. And if you have been following our recent episodes, this one might be a bit easier to guess. It shows a beautiful play of color shifting from pink to lilac and to ultraviolet, all in one stone. The color palette here is soft, elegant, and incredibly noble. And of course, a stone like this should never be heat treated. It's already valuable and unique just the way nature created it. Stones like these are rare to begin with, and if somebody orders one like it again in the future, we honestly can't guarantee we will find an exact match. Pieces like these are borderline natural miracles, true one-of-a-kind treasures, especially in this size. With such clarity and rich, lovely color, finding another would be a serious challenge. So if this one speaks to you, don't think too long. It might be a very long time before we see another like that. Now 29. Here we're cycling back to Mahenge Spinel. This one is a classic perfect Mahenge color with an absolute ideal cut that really brings the stone to life. And it is in that sweet spot for investment too, over 5 carats. As you probably know, when it comes to the gemstones as investment, anything over 5 carats tends to be far easier to resell later. You probably already know a lot about Mahenge, that it is a great investment. So if you haven't added one to your collection yet, this is your must-have piece. And if one day you decide to resell that, you can even do that through us. We take a very small commission for resale, usually about 10% of the difference between your original purchase price and the final sale price. So say you bought it for one amount and sold it later for more, we will just take 10% of that increase. Simple, fair, and easy. So keep that in mind. Whether you're buying for love, investment, or a bit of a both, you've got options with us. Number 30. Here we have a rare guest in our lineup. Here we have an emerald. We don't work with emeralds very often, and there are 2 big reasons for that. First, from a filming perspective, emeralds are an absolute nightmare. No matter what camera, lighting, or equipment we use, it's almost impossible to capture their true color. For some reason, every device seems to dull or gray out their beautiful, vibrant green. Getting even one decent shot can take half a day of adjusting and experimenting. That's a real headache. Second, and maybe even more importantly, emeralds aren't the best stones for investment. And we always want you to have gems that are not just beautiful but also can grow in value over time. Emeralds prices only increase by about 10% per year, which is nothing in terms of the gemstone investments. Why? Because there is so much supply. The market for emeralds is stable, but not especially exciting if you're looking for long-term gains. The one major exception is the Musa emeralds, the ones with the rare bluish tint. Those are a completely different story. Musa emeralds are much rarer, much trendier, much pricier, and yes, they are considered true investment grade stones. And number 31. Here is something what you will never guess. It's not spinel and it's definitely not some pale light amethyst either. The beauty is actually another untreated tanzanite. Can you believe that? An untreated tanzanite with such kind of a deep lavender ultraviolet color, absolutely stunning quality, and it's pretty large size too. It's truly something special. Honestly, it feels like pure magic to find the stone like that. And even more surprising because recently we managed to find 3 of these unique untreated tanzanites all at once, even though for months before that we didn't see anything even remotely close to this quality. So just a reminder, don't think this kind of find happens often and is a total exception to the rule. Discovering a treated tanzanite with such richness and size is like winning the gem lottery. Number 32. Here we have an incredibly bright, cheerful, sparkling tourmaline with a perfectly chosen cut that really brings it to life. Just so you know, finding a green tourmaline with this level of brightness is actually very rare. Most green tourmalines tend to look like dark bottle glass, murky, heavy, and not at all exciting. But here, even though here is slight black undertone, it doesn't drown out the vivid and lively green sparkle at all. It's fresh, it's vibrant, it's everything you want from a green stone. And honestly, isn't this a perfect alternative to an emerald? It gives you that lush green look without the $300,000 price tag for this kind of a size. In fact, this beauty is also very large, 28 carats, and it's priced around $17,000 only. 28 carats for 17 grand, that's practically steal. And finally, number 33. We're closing today with a gorgeous Ethiopian opal. This one is bright, rainbow colored and full of life, looking absolutely stunning whether you're out there in the sunlight or indoors under softer light. Now, a quick reminder about opals. The ones we select are of a quality that won't react to contact with water. They won't turn grey, they won't fade, and they definitely won't crumble if you accidentally get them wet. And on the other flip side, they also won't dry out and crack if you leave them in a dry climate. A lot of Ethiopian opals have earned a bad reputation, but that is usually because people buy the cheap low-grade ones. But our opals, we are extremely strict with the selection process, so we only choose the best stones, and in all years, none of our Ethiopian opals have ever shown unexpected behavior. The only small thing that can happen, and it's very normal, is that if you constantly use hairspray powders in a close contact with your opal, or foundations, for example, if you're talking about makeup, it might start picking up a slight yellowish tint, but even then it's fixable. A proper cleaning by a specialist will bring it right back to life. And yes, we do have trusted experts on hand. So if you ever need help giving your opal a spa day, just reach out to us. And before we finish, just a quick reminder. While we are showing you a beautiful selection today, this is not a ready-to-wear shop. We specialize in individually selected stones and custom orders, working closely with you every step of the way. Yes, you can purchase something from today's list if it's still available and hasn't already found a new home, but you can also send us an individual request. We will source the perfect stone for you, design your jewelry concept together, and make any modifications needed until you are truly happy with the final concept. After that, you simply cover the material cost. We create the finished piece, which will be delivered to you along with the official certification from an accredited laboratory. And remember, full payment is only required after you receive and inspect your jewelry. Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing our love for beautiful gems. Stay inspired, stay curious, and we will see you again very soon with even more treasures to discover. Take care and goodbye for now.